What is up, and how is it going, guys and gals? You're listening to the voice of Boom Nation, and today I'm happy to be bringing you all a brand new Call of Duty Ghosts tips and tricks video. Now today we're going to be talking about some of my best tips for you guys when it comes to going for KEM strikes in Call of Duty Ghosts. Now in my most recent video, which was the #1 episode of my brand new series called Best KEM Spots in Call of Duty Ghosts, I mentioned that the best way to go for KEM strikes, the best game types that you guys want to try and play, are going to be Domination and Blitz. And the reason for this is because these are the two game modes that have the most predictable spawn points out of anything. As you guys know, it's very hard to turn on people. It's very hard to win a gunfight if you don't get the first bullets on someone else. So getting shot in the back is just not an option. It's really not. You cannot turn on people most of the time. So you want to be able to predict the enemy spawns as much as you can, and at least have a general idea of where they're going to be coming from on the map. And to do this, you're going to want to play Domination and Blitz because the spawns are very predictable and just very easy to keep track of where the enemy team is at. Now, moving on from that, let's talk about some more general tips. When you're moving around maps, one thing that's very important and that I noticed I do very well is that I position myself in such ways that the enemy is likely to kind of run by me and not necessarily run at me and challenge me in a head-on gunfight, right? Because the more one-on-one gunfights you get into, the more likely you are to die because they could get the first shots. You know, you might not have just seen them. All sorts of things can happen and go wrong if you get into one-on-one gunfights. So the best thing to do when going for KEM strikes is to figure out routes that you like to run around the map that work for you, that don't put yourself in too much harm, but put yourself instead in situations where people are kind of running past you. Now, one of the things that I love to do on this map in particular, and by the way, you're watching like a 21 gun streak on Strike Zone. You can see right here I'm very low on ammo, and it is a scary feeling. But anyways, there's this hallway that I've been in throughout the gameplay a little bit. I kind of duck in and out of it. It's to my right at the moment. I think most of you guys probably know what I'm talking about. And in that hallway, there's two windows, and you can look out to this area where I am right now, and you can shoot people in the back running out of the building behind me, or you can look out to the right window and you can see into the C flag spawn, and people will just run up those steps that go from the C flag to the B flag. They will just run up those steps and they will never know you're there, and you can just peek out of that windowsill and just shoot them in the back, and it's free kills. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Now, another important thing, and this is very, very important, is to not stay in the same exact spot for too long. So you'll notice I never stay in that hallway for more than maybe 20 seconds tops, and even that is quite a bit of time, because when you start to pick up kills on enemies from a spot, they're going to start to recognize that, and they're going to try and take you out. They're going to get angry. It happens. They're probably going to throw stuns where they think you might be. They're going to throw grenades. They're going to come around the corner pre-aiming, ready to shoot you, and that is not what you want, right? That's just going to lead to frustrating deaths. So what you want to do is try and, you know, pick, I don't know, 3 areas around the enemy spawn that you really like and kind of dip in and out, right? You don't want to get too deep in the enemy spawn, because then you could get caught having to reload when there's enemies in front of you, and that's not too great. But you definitely want to keep moving, but still in the same general area. So keep them guessing. Don't let them know where you're at, and you'll do just fine. Now let's move on to my favorite class setup for going for KEM strikes, and this is using the MTAR-X submachine gun. And I talked about this in my most recent video. As I said, that was the best KEM spots video. You guys can go check that out if you like on my channel. It's a brand new series. I don't think anyone else is doing it on YouTube, so it's pretty cool. But anyways, like I was saying, my favorite class setup, that, as I said in that video, is the MTAR-X submachine gun with the foregrip and silencer attachments. Now, I really love this setup just with the weapon and attachments alone. But I feel what makes this setup really work for me when I'm going for KEM strikes is when I use the perks that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So let's move into the class setup here. Now, what you're seeing on your screen are the starting perks that I use for this class setup, and those are Ready Up, Agility, Sleight of Hand, Dead Silence, and Focus. Now, these perks are very nice. Oh, and I forgot one more. You have Fully Loaded, and I'm going to talk about that in depth, because as you guys may have noticed in my 21 gun streak, which is already come and gone, the reason I died is because I ran out of ammo. And this is happening to me quite a bit when I'm going for KEM strikes. I just run out of freaking ammo. and it's not a good feeling to have when you're searching for a scavenger pack on the ground and you can't find one. It's really not, because to maximize our perk setup on this class setup, we don't have a secondary. You have nothing to fall back on. Running out of ammo is your enemy, and it's a bad thing to have happen, and it's happened to me too many times, and this is why I'm sharing this with you guys, because hopefully I can prevent this from happening to you all when you're on a decent gun streak. So what you want to do is run fully loaded off the bat, and this is a very uncommon perk, but I think it's going to work nicely for you guys. And the reason is, it's very, very nice. It's a very nice convenience to be able to use bullets at your disposal and not feel like you have to conserve them all the time and not worry about how many you have, because also, besides just these starting perks, when we go into the scavenger, the specialist class setup, you're going to see that you actually obtain specialist in my favorite class setup. I think around 10 kills, something like that. And it's just a nice add-on, because even if you have fully loaded and you're spraying bullets, it's possible you could be running low by 10 kills. It's possible. And so because of that, scavenger is just another thing to fall back on. So now you spawned with extra ammo, you have scavenger on, so you can pick up ammo around the map. I'm thinking there's no way you're gonna run out. There really isn't. You can spray and pray all day. You can do whatever you want. You're probably not gonna run out of ammo, and that is a very, very nice convenience to have, I can tell you from experience. So anyways, guys and gals, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please follow these tips, and hopefully you guys really enjoyed it. Please leave a like rating if you did. Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great day.